On that somber dawn, the official correspondence descended upon families like autumn leaves, each envelope bearing the weight of military protocol. Within their folds lay those dreaded words pressed in stark typography. "It is with deep sorrow that we must inform you." These weren't just notifications. They were obituaries for heroes whose stories weren't supposed to end this way. The warriors she cherished, her battlefield family, had been declared casualties of war, but destiny had other plans. 7 days after those death notices were delivered, the fortified entrance to their military installation creaked apart, revealing an impossible sight. Desert sand coated her battle dress uniform. Crimson stains painted her limbs. Yet what she bore upon her back defied every regulation in the book. 2 wounded but living special operations personnel. Before we continue this remarkable tale, drop a comment below and let me know your location. I genuinely enjoy connecting with viewers from around the globe. The sentries at the security perimeter stood motionless, their minds struggling to process what they witnessed. Initially, they questioned their own sanity. Perhaps the relentless sun and sleepless nights had conjured this vision. Then came the whispered recognition. "That's actually her." Word traveled through the ranks like wildfire spreading across dry grass. Her death had been officially documented, her memory honored during those sacred 3 a.m. vigils when soldiers remember the fallen. Yet here she advanced, upright but wavering under the burden of 2 comatose comrades dragging at her frame. Her knees buckled with each stride. Moving forward became warfare against gravity itself. Iron filled her mouth, while the metallic scent of open wounds saturated her combat clothing. Her thoughts cycled through the attack's brutal moments, the explosion that shattered the darkness, the screams that followed, and that crucial instant when headquarters ordered retreat. Retreat wasn't in her vocabulary. She charged ahead instead, her internal voice echoed with determination. "Whatever happens to me happens to all of us." Nobody abandons their family out there. The gathered personnel created a corridor as the entire installation held its collective breath, save for her labored gasps. Some gazed with reverence, while others questioned whether they witnessed heroism or recklessness. After all, she'd violated direct commands, gambled everything on a single throw of the dice. But for what purpose? 2 heartbeats. A vow she'd made in that muddy shelter weeks before. "You're not dying on my watch." Medical teams swarmed forward, relieving her of her precious cargo as the rescued men's weak moans shattered the stillness. Relief swept through the assembled troops like an ocean wave. They lived. Hanging by threads, perhaps, but they lived. Every gaze then shifted back to her. She wobbled on unsteady legs, yet maintained her bearing, grime streaking her features like ancient ceremonial markings. Her fingers quivered not from terror, but from understanding the consequences that loomed ahead. Leadership wouldn't greet her return with celebration. Interrogations awaited, along with potential court-martial proceedings. Yet within her chest, one conviction blazed hotter than any disciplinary action. "These men draw breath because I refused abandonment." The base commander approached, his expression etched by decades of conflict. His attention moved between her and the survivors, then returned to her face. Time suspended itself as everyone wondered, would he publicly condemn her actions? Instead, his authoritative voice cut through the tension. "Regulations preserve lives most of the time." He let that sink in before continuing. "But occasionally, it's raw courage that saves us." The quiet exploded into celebration. Cheers erupted across the compound, combat boots drumming against pavement, applause continuing until hands stung. Men and women who'd mourned too many losses, who'd said goodbye to friends without closure, suddenly discovered hope incarnate standing before them. Tears she'd forbidden herself to release finally surfaced. She existed in flesh and blood, not as a phantom, and they weren't merely names etched in memorial stone. They survived because she trusted in something transcending military orders. She trusted in bonds that warfare cannot destroy. Though judgment's shadow still lingered, she felt unburdened for the first time in months. She'd guided them through hell's flames and somehow navigated her own path back to safety. True, bravery isn't sightless. It recognizes danger, acknowledges fear, yet advances anyway. Compassion doesn't disappear. It endures and discovers its path home. Just as those official letters attempted to conclude her narrative, she authored her own fresh chapter. So I ask you, faced with your loved ones, your family, your sacred promises hanging in the balance, what choice would you make? Share your perspective in the comments below. And if tales of valor and devotion resonate with you, hit that subscribe button, because every story we share proves that even in war's bleakest moments, humanity's flame refuses to be extinguished.